Why General Hospital missed the mark with Daniel Goddard. Daniel Goddard has exited General Hospital after a 7-month stint on the ABC soap that did not do him justice at all. Key takeaways. Daniel Goddard was barely used on GH. The character's arc quickly fizzled. It was a waste of Goddard's talent, especially since Kane was recast on YNR. Make it make sense. Last spring, we were thrilled to have Goddard join GH as Henry Dalton. Not only did we love Goddard on The Young and the Restless, but Professor Dalton was a mystery and creepy all at the same time. However, it didn't take long to realize something was amiss with the professor, and we aren't talking about his storyline. Dalton was rarely seen on the show, except at the Metro Court pool a few times and when Jocelyn Eaton McCoy and Emma Braden Bruner faked being his assistant for their own gain. The fact that a new character was MIA for so long didn't bode well for Goddard and was a waste of time. GH fans didn't really get to know Dalton until he got drunk and spilled some of his dirty little secrets to Jocelyn. It seems like Goddard was brought in to play a character that was going to be a pivotal player in a storyline involving Sidwell, Carlo Rhoda, and his quest to continue Faison's, Anders Hove, final project. Suddenly though, Britt Kelly Thibault was in the mix, and Dalton wasn't as much of a key player. Goddard proved in his final episode that there were layers to Dalton that could have added to this storyline, but that didn't happen. Instead, Dalton was killed, ending an arc that honestly left us more confused than anything. Granted, GH fans did learn that Dalton was testing on animals. Even that, though, was lackluster, considering how it unfolded. For whatever reason, it appears like GH changed course with Dalton and Goddard, and it's a shame. The actor was a gem and perhaps could have been back on YNR as Kane if GH hadn't snagged him first. Just out 2 cents. Fans speak out after Dalton's death. GH fans use social media to speak out after Dalton died, and it was confirmed Goddard was done at the ABC soap. R.I.P. Professor Dalton, such a waste of a character. All he did was bully teenagers the whole time, crescendoing in pointlessly framing Rocco, which resulted in being unalived by Sidwell. I am guessing that wasn't what Daniel Goddard signed up for, but it was a memorable exit, wrote a fan on X. Another fan on X declared, "Can any fellow GH viewers some insider or BTS info explain to me if they changed his character's story and plot points from what they were? It seems like they hired this name, the leading man, for a role that would eventually expand, but he virtually had almost no lines his entire run. Hatman should be on why GH wasted his time like that," insisted a different fan on X. One fan said, "Sad Daniel Goddard's run on GH has come to an end, slightly frowning face. A lot more story could have been told with Dalton General Hospital." Watch this. Soap Hub says delivers your dose of soap scandals and shockers. Soap operas thrive on timing, on the electricity of entrances, the heartbreak of exits, and the alchemy of casting choices that come along once in a generation. And sometimes, despite the best intentions, a show brushes up against a moment of brilliance, then chooses to walk the other way. When fans whisper about missed opportunities, near misses, or casting what-ifs, one name comes up again and again: Daniel Goddard. Here is a creative reflection on why and how General Hospital missed the mark with an actor who could have redefined its landscape. The arrival that never came. When an actor like Daniel Goddard circulates in the casting ether, people notice. Daytime television is its own universe, loyal, passionate, tribal, mythic. New talent doesn't merely show up, it enters. And Goddard had the reputation, the fan base, and the presence to make such an entrance seismic. But General Hospital never opened the door wide enough. Fan circles buzzed with speculation over the years. Would he come to Port Charles as a Cassadine? A Corinthos rival? A mysterious WSB import with a past? Or maybe the long-lost face connected to some storyline that had gone cold and needed fire? But instead of embracing that potential, GH treated him like a cameo possibility, maybe a background whisper. He lingered at the show's periphery, not for lack of talent, but for lack of vision. And here lies the first mark the show missed: recognizing an actor who doesn't just fill a role, but creates one. 2. An untapped archetype. Every soap opera has its archetypes. The brooding hero. The charming rogue. The tortured soul. The noble protector. the villain draped in velvet charm. Goddard is one of the rare actors capable of crossing those archetypes in a single scene. On another show, he carried whole storylines on that versatility. He could shift from dangerous to tender, from romantic to ruthless, with a flicker of expression. He has the physical presence of a leading man and the emotional nuance of a character actor. General Hospital has not always been short on strong male characters, but it has been short on the kind who can build chemistry with anyone in the room. That is a currency soaps desperately need, more valuable than budget, more potent than plot twists. Goddard had that currency in abundance. Giving him a half-developed backstory, a one-season arc, or we'll see where this goes character, would never have been enough. GH needed to give him a world to inhabit, and they never did. Had he arrived in Port Charles, he would have carved out a space instantly. And maybe that was the problem. The show didn't know how to make room for a presence that big without rebalancing the cast around him. But that is what good shows do. That is what great soaps must do.